Welcome back to the continuous session of clash detection. Here we have this element here. Let's say they have clashes, okay, and assuming it's a large model, even though you have clashes in Naviswork, you might not be able to quickly find this element back in the native file, which is the Revit file. So in order for us to quickly find the element, I'm going to teach you a method that is enabled by Naviswork and Revit. So to do that, just open the Revit file. Okay, the Revit file that you need to open is in folder 401 clashes. Okay, and once you are in Revit, click on the Add-ins tab. You will see External Tools and Naviswork Switchback 2018. Okay, so just click on Naviswork Switchback 2018. And you should see nothing change. Okay, that's fine. But just go ahead and save the Revit file and close the Revit file. Not close Revit, just close the Revit file. Okay. And now going back to Naviswork. Okay, let's say you are trying to, you know that this big pipe in the entire project has an issue that needs to be solved. So what you can do is click on the big pipe. You can see it's highlighted in blue. Go to this tab, Item Tools, and there is a Switchback button, which when you click on it, this element will be selected in Revit. So let's go ahead and click on Switchback. Okay, so if you open up Revit again, okay, you need to click on the plus icon, and you need to click on this bracket 3D bracket here, and you can see that there you go. Your element, they have kind of navigated towards that location, so you can easily make the modification that you need in a BIM model. So that is what Switchback allows you to do. But again, just remember that in order for Switchback to be enabled, you need to open the Revit file, go to Add-ins, External Tools, okay, a bit slow here, and Naviswork Switchback. Okay, you only need to do it once per file. There's no need to press it all the time. Just press it one time and it will work infinitely. Okay, so this is the tool that we use to quickly solve issues that are spotted in Naviswork, and we want to solve them in the native Revit file. Okay, and next, let's go back to the Naviswork file, and I'm just going to set this again to wireframe here. And so now we know that these two objects are not clashing, okay, if the factor is 1. And let's take a look at these two pipes here. Okay, at this point in time, we're going to create a new test, add test, to test whether there is collision between these two small pipes here. Okay, I just want you to spend some time rotating around and try to figure out yourself and come to a conclusion whether there's any clashes between these two objects here. Okay, and let's go and prove it. Click on the left side one, use current selection. Click on the right side one, use current selection, hard and tolerance 0.00. Okay, instead of 0.01, how about we change it to 0.000? Okay, and go ahead and run test, and you can see clash number 1 appearing, which means that these two objects actually coincide with each other. At the same time, the reason why the default settings of tolerance is 0.001 is because we do not want Naviswork to report that these two are clashing. Okay, these two pipes are actually touching each other. Okay, to verify that, I'm opening the Revit file. Inside Revit file, if you go to level 1, you will see a pre-created section available, and you can see the pipes here. They are right beside each other, and they are kind of touching each other. They're in contact with one another. But again, this is not a scenario where we want to report this situation as a clash. Okay, and imagine if all these objects are touching one another and it's reported as a clash, then you have multiple false clashes, especially when it comes to Revit. Let me just draw a wall here. And what we often do is, let me just place some objects here. Okay, let's say I have a table here. Okay, and in Revit we always align the objects to other nearby elements. So I'm going to align this table to the wall. So imagine that this table is placed directly on the wall, in contact with the wall, and because you set a tolerance of 0.000, this situation will be reported as a clash. And it's not, right? You don't want it to be reported as a clash. You don't want to waste your time trying to remove these kind of clashes, which are actually, in actual fact, not a problem for construction, right? Or for design. Okay, so that's why the default setting is 0.001, and if you run it again, now you can see there's no clash. That's why Naviswork is smart enough that the default setting is 0.001 to remove such scenarios from the clash results. Okay, so let's just I don't think you need to save this file, but you can save if you want to. I'm just going to close this file, and we will work on 02 clashes. Okay, and go back to folder number 4, open up 02 clashes, and I'm just going to open the Revit file again. I'm just going to make sure no, there's a Naviswork file, so just open the Naviswork file. Okay, and here we have in 02 clashes is a cable tray and a pipe running through what is supposedly a window here. Yeah, it's a window here. So a pipe running through a window and a cable tray on top. So other than detecting clashes between objects, Naviswork can be used to verify or check the whether the minimum distance between objects are met. So let's make sure your clash detective is turned on, and we're going to do a clearance test to make sure the distance between the pipe and the cable tray is of sufficient distance as defined by us at least. But before that, just go ahead and add test, and select the cable tray. For selection A, use current selection. Select the pipe, use current selection. At this point in time, for the type, to change it to clearance instead, and we're going to do, let me see, this will be 0.1. Let's try 0.1. So let's say for design considerations, we want to make sure every cable tray and pipes have a minimum clearance distance of 0.1. Okay, and we run tests, and there is no clashes. That's fine, which also means that if we go and do a double check, we're going to do a double check later. Right now it means that there is more than 0.1 meters between cable trays and pipes in this project. Okay, to verify that, go to the review tab. Okay, I want you to select, once you get in the review tab, select the pipe, hold on to control, select the cable tray. So just these two objects selected, they should be in blue. And there's these options here under the review tab, shortest distance. Go ahead and click on it. And you can see, using this function, they basically find the geometry of these two selected shapes and find the shortest distance possible. So between the cable tray and the pipe, you can see that the minimum distance, the actual distance is 0.016, which means that they are above 0.1 and therefore they meet the requirement. Let's go and go back to the select tab here. At this point in time, instead of 0.1, how about we set 0.2? Okay, so we can already predict what's going to happen. Since this is only 0.116 and we need a clearance of 0.2, if you're going to click on run test, you would expect a clash. As you can see, clash is identified here. So other than objects that clash onto each other, in Naviswork there is also a clash clearance, or just clearance itself, where you can specify a minimum distance between two set of objects based on their categories or just individual objects, or certain design considerations, certain regulations, or if you want to check whether there's sufficient space for door swings, you can use the clearance test instead of the hard clash. Okay, that's also a possibility here. So let's just save and close the file here.